now from understanding. I bought a house, I bought a car.
Right, so social welfare is basically like money.
It really is. So when you break it down, it's like how equitable is our divide? Globally, it's not good, as we in America kind of own everything, which is weird and sad. It's shifting right now too, so that's also scary. So like the dollar has been the basic currency since 1913 was when the US dollar became the world reserve currency. And I know that, again, that sounds way out there, but it's because of our oomph and might and force that we have with like US military and like Navy ships, and not to get too far out on a tangent, but now you're making me want to open up that slide. I'll see if I can break that down. What was the name? Is it?
Intro to social welfare.
Who's the author? Maybe that's what I have to search.
Yeah, I got the book right.
Is it Dubois or is it?
Is that how we do today?
It probably is. You mean for us?
Yeah, I got it in paper though.
Well,
You just take a picture of it.
Okay.
and you
Is it
submit
like
it to
something on
YouTube.
D2 where we can turn it into?
Yes. Yeah, there should be. Yeah, I always social welfare.
what homework is this today?
That one. This one right here on the board.
The genogram?
Yeah.
Right, your genogram.
We just make 2 generations of like your family.
Don't rush yourself. It's
I
fine.
thought it said
Just do it.
on D12 it said the ninth. Yeah, it said the ninth.
Oh, well, there you go. See, I don't even know when I made my assignment due, but they actually read it. Sorry, I don't recall. I feel like I had. Oh, here it is. Look, that's your welfare, or is that Intro to Social Work? I'm sorry. Who is the author of Intro to Social Work?
I don't even know. It's so many names.
Dolgoff. Let's see here. Dolgoff. Is that it? Is that how you spell there? All right, here we go. We can connect this back to the human behavior in the social environment. So,
This the slides we went over too.
yes. All right. So, if you and think of it.
My teacher, she
I could get my professor was Beyonce.
Oh, you took it last semester.
Yeah, I took a big time
Right.
class.
I'm about to say I got Diamond. She cool, but she thought she don't know.
Yeah.
She
if you
went
had
here.
Miss Beyonce, you would have liked it. It's just a big time class, so it would have been like real fast. But like she a good professor.
It definitely is.
She
confusing.
made us read the slide. We asking questions. She talked about, I don't know, I just got the book. Like, and then we got a quiz on it today. Like, sis.
So, well, let's connect this back to human behavior in the social environment too, because for real, like if it was still, and in ways it still is, but in the past, okay, how about that? I'm gonna try to think of the easiest way to break it down. But like when my parents were first starting having babies, when they had kids, there almost was no such thing as a credit card and like a bunch of debt and stuff. You know what I mean? Like if you had cash,
So they just had the cat.
so whatever money you had in your pocket is all that you owned. You know what I mean? Like you could get a mortgage on a house, you could get like a payment on a car. But I feel like after my parents were married in 1970, after the 70s, we had, in fact, 50 years ago, we had the same inflation that's going on now. So you know how like food's doubled in price, you know how like gas, although somehow they brought gas prices back down because they knew it would look bad for the government. So gas prices are back at like $3, which is supposed to be low, but 2 years ago it was $1.75, right?
And it's about to be 99 cents.
So, and there's lots of quotes. If you look up historically, like keep them fed. And then Germany during the 1919s, they used to keep kegs of beer in the street so people were just drunk all the time and happy. And keep them fed and drunk and like give them entertainment, whether it's the Colosseum, and that was in ancient Roman times, or NFL football, which is in current modern day times. Give them enough beer, weed, and NFL football and food to fill their belly, and you won't have an uprising. Now, if food becomes too expensive, and like that includes beer, maybe weed. I don't know if weed's gone up in price. I feel like it's always been like 50 a quarter and 25. Right. So food gets expensive, we could have uprisings in the street. You know what I mean? Like people start getting pissed off. So that's where it says social welfare functions to meet the maintenance needs of society by preventing instability and providing for social continuity. whether that's like warm house and full belly, like all of our electric got shut off tonight, we'd be a little pissed off in the morning. You might make it 1, 2, 3 days because we have extra coats to put on. We got extra stuff to wear to stay warm and enough food. Actually, there's some app where they say light a candle and put like a flower pot over it, and the clay heats up and it will heat the whole room, which is weird. But so say you have a warm house and a full belly, you're good. You're not going to be all pissed off going to the president of the university's house and like throwing shit through his windows and trying to take his food and his stove. That's what this is saying. So that's slide 1, and it correlates with what am I going to say? It correlates with human behavior in the social environment, because as long as we are fed and sheltered and taken care of, our babies grow up okay and fed and sheltered and taken care of. Has any of you in here ever visited a third world country? Ever? Or seen pictures at least, like what India looks like or Africa looks like, or
I want to go to Africa so bad.
so that's a good example of a developing country that doesn't have all the needs met. So they use really big words, and that's the crappy thing here, is they almost should have like videos. So cascading effects. This means disadvantages can cascade. One problem can lead to another in some cases. Sometimes when multiple problems exist, even solutions can intensify the problem. So say in Africa, they don't have roads. They don't have running water everywhere. They don't have electricity. They don't have, and like maybe to bring in electricity, it means pollution will happen everywhere. Someone gets cancer. So they've got to find a way to bring an equitable solution. We don't see that in America, so it's hard for us to like wrap our brain around, is we've always had like enough heat in our house to keep us alive and enough food in our belly to keep us from starving. You know what I mean? Like, in fact, we probably have too much food until the past 2 years during the pandemic, where there's like a food shortage. So they're using too big of words. That's like cascading effects. What kind of a title is that on a slide? Like, I'm not good at making PowerPoints myself, but what the hell does cascading effects mean? But like, if a lot of shit is bad, everyone's going to be pissed, and an uprising occurs and you overthrow the government. It's kind of why we have social policy to begin with. So it's trying to get like the root of like why social policy is here, and like why do we have Help Me Grow for like our chapter that we're learning in our book. We have Help Me Grow because if everybody is trying to have babies and they all die or have prematurity, no one's going to be happy. It's like we don't have a good policy to keep babies alive or keep families intact, because the network of our society is human beings. You know what I mean? Like, we all take care of each other. I'd like to say, regardless of like race, gender, religion, we all still try to take care of each other. I mean, we've gotten to that point. Some would argue we're not at that point yet, but we still separate based off of whatever borders, or we don't want immigrants here. I don't want them people from Mexico coming up and taking my job, or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So structural factors that high poverty and unemployment to the economy are a shift from goods producing manufacturing economy to service producing. Now in America, we actually did really bad with this. So we put all of our goods producing to China and Mexico, and there's no jobs left. What we have left is like servers and waiters, and like I delivered for Amazon, I've delivered for DoorDash. But we have no producer of goods. So at some point you run out of the goods because you're not producing them here. So you need a balance there. But they're and the look is real good, but they're saying like in a rich country, you'll have a shift from goods producing, manufacturing to service producing, polarization of the labor market into low wage and high wage sectors, which we kind of have. I mean, isn't minimum wage still like 8 or 10 here? I don't know what the minimum wage is. Anybody know?
I want to say like, I know at my current job, they started out at like 8 and then it went up. Yeah.
Oh, at Central. Is it at Central or no? Okay. I know Federal Worksite at Central went up. I saw that email. It says no longer is 8, maybe it's 9, or is it 10 now?
Probably like 9 or 10.
I know in Chicago it's 15. I know in California it's 15. Yeah, but to live there is so expensive. So we're actually.
New York is expensive. I wonder what their minimum wage is.
Where did you say? In New York? Oh, yeah. They just to live there, it's gotta be
So
expensive.
expensive.
Yes.
I love New York though.
Yes. So, increasing technology and offshoring. So maybe you guys didn't get to hear about this, but like we threw all of our jobs out of America. Like, I don't know. I feel like the Great Recession, like all the cars are made in Mexico, all the cell phones are made in China, all the like TVs are made in Japan. We don't make any of that stuff in America. Right. So we don't have any jobs, which for a moment that was great, but then when people run out of jobs, therefore they don't have money, then they can't buy stuff. We don't have a circular economy to like produce cars, and the reason they offshore them is because you could pay someone in Mexico $3 an hour. In America, they gotta be paid $10 an hour, or the union said $20 an hour. So they put it offshore. In 1960s. So poverty in the United States has become more urban, spatially concentrated, and clustered. So you see that. What cities are all of you all from?
I'm from Cleveland.
So is there poverty anywhere in here? We have that in Cincinnati too. They've kind of pushed it to the west side of Cincinnati because they redid our downtown and made these. Okay, so they pushed them all to the east. Like they would evict you, redo the building, make it a fancy bar where like everybody like.
That's what they like. Literally, we getting gentrified right now. Like,
Yes.
As we speak, like so.
In Dayton.
In Dayton, we get
Okay.
like we're literally getting gentrified like as we speak.
Okay.
So like they at first like for a couple of years they was just like redoing our streets, and when I say redoing our streets, I mean they was just like putting patches over it and not really caring. Now, like all of our main streets, and then we don't have no like where I live at. I live on the west side of Dayton, so like there's no close grocery store, like healthy grocery stores.
Mhm. Okay.
And the one that there is like on Siegenthaler or whatever. They're about to shut it down.
Okay.
So like now it's really like no grocery store on the whole west side of Dayton. People would have to travel to.
So it's a food desert.
Yes.
Okay.
People would have to travel to basically, like Huber or like basically the white part of town
To buy anything.
to buy
from
at
the
least
grocery
decent
store.
groceries because the grocery store on Siegenthaler is
Right.
like they
Okay.
give us like the leftovers in the back of the can.
Okay. Hello. How are y'all? I'm doing good. Art. So that's why you would want to do art for the food desert.
Mom, suggestion.
Right. Okay. You guys all know what a food desert is?
A food desert?
It's a food desert. Yeah. Not food dessert. That would be good. Dang, how much was that?
$0.
Wait, do you have to return it?
Yes,
Mhm.
that's the thing.
What
I was
if
about
you
to
don't?
highlight in my other book.
They gonna make you pay for it.
Yeah, you gotta pay for it.
Like $120.
No,
Gotta get like a sticky note or something.
I was about to say,
Whew.
no, one of them books said it was like $500 to repair.
So here's some food desert art. We were talking about, ideas, but like, and this connects back to human behavior in the social environment, because if like we're hungry all the time or you're eating non-nutritional food all the time, I mean, we can handle it in our teens and 20s. Like you can get by eating some garbage, but then like the older you get, and when you're extremely young, you need good nutrition. You need enough vitamin D. You need enough vitamin C. You need enough like whatever it may be. Yeah, here's some food desert art, like all donuts or minute rice, or I actually have a whole lot of minute rice in my house. I'm not gonna lie, because it's easy to make. Or as interesting as the grocery cart in the middle of the desert. That's kind of dumb though. I like this because that shows the solution to the food desert. So it has like urban farm, urban gardens on the rooftop gardens. You got maybe where you can only buy shit at the corner store, and and you can get by on it for some period of time. But if I am eating that stuff every single day, it's going to start wearing on my brain development. It's going to start wearing on my. You look aged too. You ever seen somebody you're like, damn, they look old for their age?
Yeah.
You ever see anybody like, even the grandparents? Damn, my grandma's only 55, but she looks like she's 90.
Oh,
Because they're drinking or eating bacon, smoking a pack of cigarettes, or something like that. So I'm just giving some examples. Yeah, there's a lot of art in food deserts here. There you go. There's a cartoon on food deserts, The Myth. So next grocery store, 15 kilometers. That's actually 9 miles.
Yeah, ain't no grocery stores. On the west side of Dayton.
Okay, they got their little bags because we're getting rid of plastic bags in Cincinnati now. I don't even know how I'm gonna do that in Cincinnati. Kroger's ain't gonna have bags anymore. You gotta bring in your own bag. That's weird. I know that it's very pollution, whatever, but yeah, you see how much art. And then also, okay, so the factor of what the type of food in a corner store at a food desert does to our body and does to our system. In my teens and 20s, I could eat pizza, cake, Coke, and French fries every day, but it started wearing on me in my 30s. You know what I mean? Like I started getting up to 270 pounds. I'm more of a like 199. And so food desert, the nutrition in them is enough that it affects, and all our bodies are different. So we all need different nutrition, like based off of, some of you said like eat right for your blood type, some of those things, and that has. So how many of you are in social welfare class, by the way? Is it just you? Or two?
I took it last.
Oh, you're already done?
Yeah.
How was it? Was it hard to, because it does dip back into like 500 years ago, like how justice was brought about, and then how colonization of America was. Right. So was it everybody passed last semester? Or was it?
Yeah.
Okay. So you just missed out. Now you got a tougher teacher.
Yeah.
she didn't tell, she didn't know.
And sometimes you got to give them the blessing of patience because, not everybody has that right off the bat where you can just like come in and teach on them. It's not easy. And you guys, what are the other classes you're all in now?
I got public speaking.
But it's on, my public speaking class is online, I don't understand.
I got an
You got to do a Zoom speech
He want us to do our speeches in front of people and record it.
and film it. Okay.
Yeah, like,
So it's like a
I don't have
real
time for all that.
experience with it. I can see that. Okay. Are you in that too?
That's
No, my only other class is my USS.
Oh, so you're only in 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got intro to sociology too.
I had that.
But I don't know, it's online and it's easy though.
Right.
All we doing is discussions and quizzes.
Okay.
I take stats, but it's like a research class. I take stats. I take this class. I take
Okay.
English 1102 and biology.
Okay. So sometimes you'll get a brand new teacher and sometimes you get somebody who's been around forever. And, just stay in communication with them. That's the key. Just stay in open dialogue and go after. I don't know if going through these slides this way is helpful, but like it does connect back to human behavior in the social environment. Because if we do grow up, if we grew up in America with like lack of food or lack of heat or running water, we would all be different. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to explain it, but have any of you been to Mexico before, or Canada, or a foreign country? Okay.
My mom.
That was when my mind kind of got blown. I lived in Nicaragua. I was like, holy shit, there's not enough food. You know what I mean? And I like that started waking me up to like crisis we're experiencing now with food inflation. Like, I used to travel with what people used to call the modern day Grateful Dead. So like go on concert tours like out west, and we would buy 24 packs of them Gatorades and sell them for $3 a pop in the parking lot. And like make about $100 every night, and then be able to go to the concerts and pay for a hotel room at night for $30 and just travel, put gas in our car and just go from like San Francisco to Washington to Kansas to Wisconsin to Cincinnati and just sell chips and Gatorade. And it was $100 a night. Yeah, you buy it like at Sam's for real cheap. You buy as many as you could. You fill your cooler up at the hotel with ice and you sell it and just travel with the band. It's kind of like the hippie thing people would do. So, essentially at social welfare, what they're getting into, and it connects to the behavior of the social environment, if there is injustice, it's going to show up all over the way we're brought up, the way goods are transferred. So when you define the justice, social welfare is comprised of interventions that will enhance or maintain social functioning of human beings. Social work is a professional occupation that delivers social welfare service. So we see often our jobs are centered in like more inner city, low income neighborhoods, because that's where we notice injustice and try to pull people up from, impoverishment or a form of injustice. Social work is a professional occupation. We deliver social welfare service. So are these all the exact slides that you'll have? Okay. Then you define what social welfare is. Although social workers are serve largely in societal welfare institution, they deliver services in a societal institution that are not within the social welfare institution. These are pretty unclear slides. I see what you're saying. It's just like, it's almost like they took a book and like cut the paragraph.
When I was reading the book, it was the same stuff in there, so it's like,
So that's how they made these PowerPoints. They just like copied the headlines. And,
I had to, because it's word and word in the book.
do they give at least like example and explanation quizzes at the end?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that
I'm not saying,
helps.
cause I don't know, we got a quiz today on it though, so.
Okay.
But she said we can use the slides, but like, we told her that we didn't understand the slides for real.
Okay.
So like,
Okay.
this quiz better be.
So just remember the key concepts is that like when there is justice and people have like equitability in a way and like then there's the far other side. Like if we gave everybody free stuff all the time, that becomes a problem too. You know what I mean? Like if you give handouts all the time, do you think anybody would ever want to work? I sure wouldn't. If you're like, dude, this is sweet, I'm gonna work again because yeah. Like why would I go bust my ass if I'm getting all of this for free? So the balance between a lot of that and how to then equitably divide. Or why would you want to become a doctor and work for the same price as somebody who is maybe doing stuff as a teacher? Why would you go to Coursera and have a 10-year internship if you're going to get the same $50,000 a year as a teacher gets? So there's a balancing concept to that, you know, like you don't want everyone to be starving and freezing in the street, but you don't want to go to college to like make yourself better. Like what I even to college, we all got the same salary. Like what's the point? So there's a balancing act between those, and that's kind of where I'm saying. Let's see here. The last few slides here, like the American myth, like the American dream. This is a debate all over. Do you guys still think we have the American dream, where if you go to college, you can make more than those who didn't and be able to buy a 2-car garage? Or I actually think plumbers.
I swear, they make him think like,
Like,
wow.
we got people that's.
Skipping college, you're saying.
Mhm.
Well, plumbers make a
Not
lot.
even skipping college, they just going.
Yeah.
They could just go for
Like the
couple of
hand
months
jobs.
again.
So like work on
Like a month or
cars.
two.
Right.
Like
And
here,
you get at the end of, well, yes, hair, because everybody everybody needs their hair done or their nails done, or there's like a need for it. Like
Class is only like a month, and then they graduate and they done. Like, dang.
well, Amazon. So my friend and I during the pandemic started delivering for DoorDash and Amazon. We noticed the grocery deliveries. Him and I would deliver for those, and They give you 2 hours, but you can do it in 1 hour and 55 to 85.
Not even that, even in the day, 3,000.
Right, yeah. And that, I guess, doesn't even need a DD, a driver's license and a clean enough record that.
That's a full-time job.
Mhm. So, and you're right, if it's 1,000 a week, 52,000 a year, if it's 1,000 a day, that's 300,000. So it's like, how fast do you want to hustle? How hard do you want to work?
But it all depends on what area you.
True.
And what the weather like.
Right. He was saying his surge was during that snowstorm. That week he would definitely make in 3 or 4 days $1,000.
Yeah, that's because they don't know you want to go out there.
Nobody wants to drive in it. I love driving in the snow. So I'm crazy like that though. I love snow. I hike in the sleep at the mountains in the snow. I haven't with the kids yet, but I used to bring my dog for 20 years in a row and hike the highest point in Virginia at -20. But we had all the gear to do that, like a sleeping bag that was this 13 inches puffed out to keep you warm, a good hat, a good coat, some good boots.
In the snow.
In the snow. I have thousands of pictures I can show you on Google Drive. But again, this is getting into human behavior in the social environment because we were brought up in some of these stressful situations. It can mess us up. Almost just like period, point blank. Do you guys ever work for any of these companies that are, they make you do like to get your W-2s, you have to get it online. Do they not mail those things out anymore? When you guys work, do you get them mailed to you or do they make you go download it somewhere?
Have to do your W-2 form.
Yeah,
Sometimes they got them where you can do it online, or you just go in and go.
okay. So that's what we have now, and I guess that one's through hospice. They're like, hey, just, so I'll zip through these slides, but in America we had industrialization, lots of jobs, and those are the ones that we outsource, like making cars, we sent all those to Mexico and China, making the iPhone. Then we got industrialized, large low-paid workers, drove people from traditional homes and pursuits to the cities. Laissez-faire capitalism is when we constrain governmental interference in affairs of the market, society function best, common good is furthered. I can see where these slides are terrible. I bet Beyonce did not teach off of these slides. You guys all have Beyonce last
I did,
semester.
I had her as a B term, social welfare.
So how often does she use these unclear slides?
She didn't use it like it all.
That's what I'm thinking. Right. There you go.
I mean, I
So,
don't have a problem with slides, but like, you know, when teachers do slides, like they give you more information that's not on the slide.
instead of just
Clear it up.
reading it,
Yeah.
Right.
But she didn't do that. She just made.
well, because sometimes you almost
copyright
have to
on the
like,
slide.
you have to teach it once or twice and then dig deep to your experience of social welfare and social justice. And this is where maybe discussion from you guys could start. Like, you know, I've seen social welfare in my community since the Affordable Care Act was passed. Everybody has insurance now. You know what I mean? The past 10 years, everybody has access to like go see a social worker. Everybody can go see a social worker as a therapist. The internet allowed schooling to reach out even into the country or far away lands where you can get a college degree. Then you balance individual and social responsibilities, using shift. That's kind of getting back to if everything was given to us for free, we wouldn't respect it as much. If we always just got our dinner served to us, why would I work hard to go out to a fancy restaurant and eat dinner? Why would I
Unless it's an occasion.
What'd you say?
Unless it's an occasion.
Right, yeah. But But there are those countries that doctors get paid the same as teachers. Cuba is one of them. China is kind of, although China's been doing a bit more capitalism than communism lately, but
I think I watched the video on how like China actually is like not allowed to.
oh yeah,
Like
Google is
social
all,
media,
yeah, it's all
and stuff like
blocked.
that.
It's all blocked.
That is whack.
You're only allowed to have one child for like 30
So,
years.
They be having so
So.
kids.
if
Well,
you have
it's
more than
because-
one, what happens?
Well, I'm sorry, what'd you say?
If you have more than one, what happens?
Well, that's a good, it's almost for me a
And then you like
social
X
question. During one child policy,
They don't even get room for that.
I think it's a certain way you gotta dress too, right?
yeah, sometimes. Oh, here you go. It's a second child. So what if she had twins? The one child policy was generally accepted to mean one birth per family. If you had twins and you were okay, they would not be penalized. So I guess you were penalized. Second child. But 83 mandatory sterilization occurred after the birth of the second or third child. As restrictions tightened a few years later, when she gave birth to 2 children, legally she had to be sterilized.
But they're like what
They cut out their uterus or like ovaries or like, so whatever,
they
what's
can't
sterile?
have no more kids.
For real. There's,
So you have a
so
second child, they're gonna clean you out basically.
that's what,
Nah, send me to the US, honey.
well, that's why everybody came here and they would have anchor babies and then we still have immigration out the wazoo. Like this is still, as messed up as we have it here, it's land for a lot of people that you can work your butt off and still work your way out the system. You know, that's why we have a lot of immigration. So here you go. In the past 5 years, China replaced the country's previous one-child policy. It was replaced by 3-child policy to mitigate the country's failing birth rates. Family size limits as well as penalties for exceeding them were removed. So they finally got rid of it, but they would sterilize you. So I guess
So
that's the
now they
answer.
only get accurate.
It sounds like it because they're at $1.5 billion. We're at 300 million.
I ain't gonna tell somebody how many kids they get
So if everybody had 2 with a mom and a dad, then you replace yourself, they stay at $1.5 billion for eternity. You know, everybody just replaces themselves. But if you have the 3, that's when we have, you know, $1 billion turns into $1.5 billion in the next few years.
Kids about kids can be registered.
Can't be what?
Registered.
Oh yeah, they have this. If you're a bad driver, if you're like a bad citizen, they have a face scan to let you in the grocery store now. And
That's
now,
in China.
yeah, they will turn you down from the grocery store. It sounds like you go hungry until you like up your. There's some weird shit going on. It's almost just like 1984.
Like they restricted to Google and some other stuff.
Google is definitely blocked in China. It's amazing that Google works for them and allows that to happen because they just want the business in China. That's why they do it. But so yeah, like facial recognition. Gosh, it's called like
It's like jail, but just not in the jail.
here you go. Here's a citizen score in China. So it's called a social credit system, punishments and rewards. And China's social credit system makes citizens, ranks them and punishes them with throttled internet speeds, flight bans if the Communist Party deems them a bad citizen. So if you're a bad citizen, you can't travel, you can't shop, you can't eat. Oh, they're gonna make me pay.
That is ridiculous.
Yes, so that's where, like, as many complaints as I have about America, and that, like, I get annoyed with it, it still seems a little different. How do I find my social credit score in China? Well, here it is. Navigate to the Credit China homepage, navigate to the credit tab, input your business name or code. And then, yeah, you get to see how their social credit system works. And it punishes them with throttle internet and flight bans. things of that nature that are kind of crazy. So that would be another social welfare problem. Social minimum is the standard social justice, so it's defined by Dr. White as the bundle of resources and circumstances of a given society which enable someone to lead a minimally decent life. So here in America, we all have a flushable toilet. Any of you grow up without a toilet that flushed? And I know we laugh about it, but in Nicaragua, I had to flush mine with a 5-gallon bucket. Right? Flushed, yeah. There
You have
was.
some more water in yours?
Yeah, that's how a toilet works anyway. It's whatever's in the top, and when you flush it, that water displaces the
Oh, yeah.
poo in the toilet. But we had to fill up a bucket and dump it. We had latrines. I dug out latrines. Electric went out every day. We had no air conditioning. It was hot as hell. I had a dirt floor. When it rained, the pig came running into my room one day. I remember that vividly. The pig ran out of the rain into my damn bedroom. That was a dirt floor.
So you lived to your own life for
7 months.
7 months. So where did you grow up?
When did I go?
No, where did you grow up?
Oh, I grew up in Cincinnati. It was a food desert. So it was like, it is a food desert. So like I lived there. It's Kennedy Heights, Cincinnati. Is anybody familiar with Cincinnati? Which city did you say from? Okay. Which part of Cincinnati? Okay. Do you know where Kennedy Heights is? Okay. You wouldn't if you were from Fairfield. Chicago probably has like you got to walk more than a mile to get to an actual grocery store. No? No? You think they're ever, so you got a grocery store about every mile
Some grocery stores be like right around the corner.
But are they corner stores? That's what I'm saying. Are they like, so that's what some, what'd you say? Right, okay.
Or a grocery store.
Sometimes people map, so like it might be GIS story. Tell me if you know any of these neighborhoods. And then in Chicago, so like those areas, do those look?
KC.
Let's see here. Oh yeah, they're naming them. Okay, I see what you're saying. Rogers Park, West Ridge, Uptown, Lincoln Square. North.
Hyde Park, like everything is in Hyde Park. Everything is that.
So wait, only the red ones are food deserts though. So let's look at that. That might help. Is that the south side?
Yeah. Top is gonna be north.
So those are all good. Those all have grocery stores every mile on the mile.
That's up north.
Okay.
Because everything's so close.
And then
Everything
even
is like, boop, 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 like, right next to each other.
then they say high poverty, but only the extreme poverty is here in the middle. And that's the roughest part, or is that the
That's the
okay? Oh, is that the absolute Englewood?
Inglewood.
They said one community plagued by food desert is Englewood, located on the city's southwest side. The map shows where Englewood is. Englewood has the highest percentage of
I
impoverished.
wanted to say that because it's like
Okay.
Walmart right there, all of these. The
Okay.
same block,
Right.
food lights.
Well, maybe they fixed it because they wrote combating the food desert in Englewood was no easy task. They fixed it. You're right. So you were right. In order to fight the spread of food deserts to get involved in Englewood, Mayor Emanuel, when was that? During Obama?
That was 2014.
Okay. City council had to work to get a Whole Foods. That's expensive as hell. I
Yeah,
guess
it is a Whole Foods.
that's expensive. Okay. City council gave 10 million grant that will support development of Whole Foods in Englewood. When I go in here, I don't see the same people from the neighborhood. I see a lot of teachers and cops, people cruising through here to trying to gentrify the area. Is that true?
Very true.
So they're like fixing up the old buildings and making them all
They're
pretty,
pushing it, they're trying to push us out.
which is happening in Cincinnati. I lived at 114 West 14th Street. We try to push all the poverty to the west side of Cincinnati, in Cincinnati. When I say we, I don't mean me. I was working with the Affordable Housing
It ain't
Institute.
no pushing them.
They're just sitting there like,
That's the issue.
do they own the buildings or they rent?
Not
them?
most of them not going.
Okay,
They up in the rent. Based off what area is going, so like, they have parking, they don't up the rent because they build a whole lot of Obama library on the street,
oh, I've heard about that Obama library, yeah.
they go up the rent. Push.
That's how they push them out. They double the rent and say eviction. Okay, so where is this? Alberta and Webster Natural Grocers.
I didn't know that.
Albania neighborhood, Trader Joe's to vacant lot in Albania. The lot was a food desert, however, the community viewed as another instance of attempted displacement of African Americans.
They gotta be up north.
Okay. So, and then here was their solutions. They're like tax breaks for big groceries. Maybe they did that for the Walmart you mentioned. Increased community engagement, microcredit loans for mom and pop stores. But those are like the corner stores, right? Is that usually the mom and pops? And then this is how we increase social welfare and like equity. Like we all have fair housing, we have equal access to food. You don't have to go like freaking miles away to buy freaking groceries. 100 years ago, we all had to grow our own shit. So that's the difference. Like now you don't have to grow your own shit, which is cool because that's hard work too. But if you got to travel or to get your food, that's like growing your own shit. All right, we're gonna finish up these last few here, but like social justice minimum, like the standard, like we want people to have healthcare, housing, food. Think of like the other stuff that some form of entertainment, whether it's cheap Wi-Fi or internet or TV shows or something. That's why I said in Germany during World War II, or World War I, they put food in their belly and they stayed warm and they didn't overthrow the government. So like now they give you enough beer, weed, or like food to keep you happy and you don't overthrow the government. You know what I mean? Like they keep us kind of dumbed down. So we're like, all right, I guess I'll deal with freaking whoever the president is today. I don't even know who the president is now. I should know.
Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm.
And
So I'll deal with his $3.
I'm not even into the politics like that. I mean, I'm for I really don't even be.
You don't go left, right politics. You go like up, down, which I hear a lot. Where you're like, is everybody taken care of? Got enough food? Warm enough when it's 16 degrees last night? Like I know the power went out for some people. Well, here it is: life, play, bodily health, shit, integrity. I'm gonna lose my computer because of the angle. Senses of managing. Like, what do you do for fun? We all need to have enough joy in our life that it's joyful to live. We all have enough going on that it's enjoyment. And then I like here, at least they give you National Association of Social Work. Our standard is equal access and rights. So freedom to decide, equity of opportunity. Like if you want to live homeless in a camp on the river in Chicago, I don't even know if you guys have a river in Chicago. In Cincinnati, we have a river. And homeless camps. There's got to be one that runs into the big old lake. You know, like
Yeah, we got one. Out there.
like probably the trains run along it. A lot of times trains, that's how they would deliver shit in the past. So like, right. It's a cheaper way to deliver stuff. So if you want to live homeless on the river and that's your choice, that's okay. If you have an option to bring yourself up and like buy affordable housing and get into a homeless shelter first, then affordable housing, then a job skills thing next, that's great.
I don't know what's crazy. In Miami, and like, you get a 3-bedroom house for like $1,500.
Is that because they're on a floodplain in Miami? So Miami, Florida, and Orlando, Florida?
Mm-hmm.
I think
So how
because
many-
their jobs really don't make much, so the income is
Oh,
cheaper.
so Miami seems to be one of the equitable places to be.
Honestly, that's what everybody gets.
Like if you get 4 people and y'all get a, go have,
A flat,
no, just
No,
get a house, like you can get
period.
a 4-bedroom house.
Orlando or Miami or both.
Orlando.
Okay, that's like Disney World, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's where they're having all the like. What's the weird stuff going on in Disney? I feel like there's some weird stuff.
They had,
You would think it'd be expensive out there though, cause they got the different things.
You would think, yeah.
It's really cheap.
Huh, when, yeah. When, really?
Yeah.
So how much is it to drive or fly down there?
Last like 2 summers, depending
Okay.
on when you booking it.
So you went as kids.
No,
You went recent.
my people,
Who's down there?
my people.
Okay, you live like your family, you can visit, say what's up and stay down there.
Yeah,
Affordable housing, living. Like they got in Florida, maybe that's the solution.
but they like,
They
they really
apartments
like,
cheap too though.
they like, if you buy like an apartment, stuff come with it. So like you will get
Free internet, free Wi-Fi.
not even that, like you get free passes to a, like.
Really?
Yes.
At the apartment, so
Like your
Okay.
residence. If you within your residence. then
so it does sound like that standard. Like if you keep your people happy, they're not going to like trash up your city.
yeah. But it's restrictions too. Like
Is there?
you can't be too loud.
Okay.
You can't play like music versus what you would play in a house.
There's a noise ordinance violation.
Yeah.
Okay. Because if you own your own property, you still have noise ordinance violations, but
To
I
a
see.
certain extent.
Right. You don't have a dude, like we hear whoever the hell that is talking next door to us. Like in a apartment, we hear that shit all the time. The person above you stomping, like, you know what I'm saying?
Problem. When they hear you in the hallway, problem.
Right. You got freedom to decide, equity of opportunity, and the dignity of the human person. So like, ideally, it is that equity, dignity of the human person. That is what brings about social welfare. We're not treated like a commodity, what you see in China. You guys ever heard that in China, that they used to like harvest skins and like if somebody I heard this even happen in America. If you become an organ donor and they see that, like,
And they got that on your ID.
I know that.
And I actually thinking about it, they asked me, did I want to do that?
So I used to be, and then I heard this idea that when they hear you're an organ donor and they see it, like they might be like, oops, or like they know somebody that the organ,
Yeah,
maybe they
my
have a
friend got it on
family.
her ID.
Uh-huh.
Say she an organ donor, she was like, yeah.
So I actually finally took it off, so I guess I'm no longer an organ donor. Maybe it's a conspiracy.
They take your organ without you knowing.
Right, they'll be like, oh, good kidney.
Mhm.
Wouldn't that be weird?
No, I thought they only take it like if you die.
Well, that's the idea, yeah, that's why I was like,
No,
sure,
you
you can have my
real
dead
bad,
organs.
right.
I see that. It's like,
Nah, why would-
He gave it over, so
right, so.
with that being signed on your ID, that's your
If you're just
signature.
supposed to die, they're gonna take the organ.
Right, yes, so like if it is
So
like,
they won't even try to save you.
I don't know, I hope that we still have good people in the world.
I wonder how that goes if you go to court with that.
Why not?
If you could prove it, how do you prove it though? Right,
They should be able to
You
tell.
an expert, y'all see this motherfucker, he's messing.
right, like, well, and so kidneys, you do have 2 of them, so a lot of people give away 1 kidney.
No.
No,
I
I'm not going to.
He operates.
Yes.
You can barely touch a woman like that. Like,
Right.
you gonna have too many problems with
Right.
one kid.
Why would I be, you want to
I am with you, but I'm just telling you,
So with kidney, with the whole kidney thing, so like, say for instance, somebody named a family with a kidney, you can only get it from somebody named within your family, right?
it's a match, you gotta take a match, usually your
You can
family's,
give kidneys to somebody else, can't you? If
Yeah.
y'all like match,
Yeah.
if like.
your family's more likely to match.
What about a master, like blood or something?
It usually is like if you're A or B positive, O
Like,
negative.
to see if your shit, I mean, if your stuff don't like work, cause what if nobody in your family wanna give you a kidney, so you shit
My
out of
mama got 2.
I'm about to say, I know nobody in my family.
Would you give one to your mom if she was about to die though?
No,
but
but
you
it
gave
depends
them
how
all
old she is. It depends. It depends.
My mama got 2 kids, she better ask my cousin.
Yeah,
got
yeah,
four.
ask him first. Ask him
got
first.
2 kids. You get half of his, you get half of
No,
Right.
my mama got 4, she can give it to older ones.
That's true.
And
So
then she don't-
this
she
is
don't
the
need
stuff.
mine.
I mean, you
Like-
gotta have small kids, you ain't getting me.
No, it depends how old she is too.
But you're
Like,
right too.
You been
It's
here
like-
for good enough.
I know. When I was 22, I thought I was indestructible, and somebody at work needed a kidney. I went in and tested if I was a match for them. Thank God I was not a match.
Why would you go wear that?
Wow.
I don't know, I was
Somebody
just
at
saying.
work.
Like somebody at work, for real. And I'll see
You thought you was
signs.
about to be nice?
Yeah, and I see
Word.
signs in Cincinnati like Bob needs a kidney. And I'll see all this stuff driving by. I'm like, all right, that's great, but like John needs a kidney too.
Right. Nah, they both did it.
So I, this is where our ethical and why they often do medical ethics is where a lot of the questions come. Should we give an alcoholic a new liver? Should we-
No, they ain't gonna do nothing messed up.
So those questions come up all the
You made
time.
the other one turn black. You get mad and turn black.
Yeah, no, I don't got one. What you mean?
So I don't
But
know
they say
if
we mess up our kidneys now, like if we drink and smoke, man, like real heavy, that's gonna be like what, 20?
I messed mine up.
67?
Oh yeah, I messed mine up bad.
You need
Mhm.
to so do you feel that you messed it up, or you just know it's messed up?
I do get bad stuff like kidney stones now.
Mm.
I'll even get blood in the
you been
pee,
doing,
but the
though?
doctor's like, you're all right. Just from drinking and smoking, so I'm glad I quit in college. But
So what about like marijuana? That make it like
well, all of it. I
So
mean,
wait.
do you get it prescribed as a pill or do you get it prescribed as a smoke? Like there's all the
I get
questions.
it prescribed.
Right, right. So, because I know nowadays it is prescribed, so it is, and there is some research on both sides of it. But certainly tar does something to your lungs. Even the vape stuff does stuff to your
See, the
lungs.
vape is terrible. This generation only bad. Like,
Yeah.
when I say bad,
It's like liquid in your lungs. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm telling you,
I'm
for
all right, all right.
They'll kill you. They'll stop everything.
at least a second that you talk.
I'm
Right.
trying to say,
I
my
agree.
friends, they be doing one vaping today. I be like, yo.
Well, it make it taste so
You
good
get
and
another
smell
one
so good.
already?
It's all cherry,
Like-
and you can like buy a gummy bear and all this.
But I kept smoking. Like I was
Yeah.
trip.
But after I saw a video of people coughing up blood, I mean, yeah,
Right. You're like, I'm done. I quit.
I just stopped this shit.
it wasn't even after that. It's just like, I thought if you could inhale it like something regular, I didn't like coughing, like my throat was messed up for 2 days, so.
So bringing on home social welfare. Now we've got high birth what do they call it? Infant mortality in America. We made it a little better, but in the Midwest, if you look up the stats, Chicago, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Dayton. Look up the stats. Chicago, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Dayton. So they have campaigns where it say ABC, kids got to be alone on their back in the crib. Like, don't sleep with them because you'll like fall asleep. Baby falls off, you roll over.
I don't think nobody gonna drop that baby. They gonna.
But it happens.
A lot of people sleep with their babies
Like-
in their bed, though.
Like,
when I
like-
babysit, I be knowing that the baby there. So I
you
be knowing
do
like,
how exhausted you
When I
get as a
the
mother.
baby too quiet, I be like, check it.
oh,
Well, right, I know. No, I do that.
They doing
I'm
something
like,
they
I'll
not
like put
supposed
my-
to.
I'll put
But it's
my,
so funny because babies so smart nowadays. Like they know not to get themselves hurt. Like if you know you finna,
You're
almost
right.
fall, they gonna make sure they don't.
you're right. So ours
They gonna
is,
start crying if they feel they slipping a little bit or something.
ours is
Well,
currently
they gonna stop
only 4 weeks old.
I don't know what y'all put me in milk nowadays.
Or what the babies get when they in the womb, because when they come out, they ain't smart.
So like
Smart.
this dude, he still can't move his neck. All like it takes a month or two. So you could fall and get smashed on a pool. So that's the concern. Like that's why they say
People
like
be so attached to their babies that they sleep with their baby right in the bed as soon as they.
And then they be like, why my baby?
But I don't want to do that because if I was to have kids, I would do it only because they gonna get so used to that as they grow up. They gonna want to always think they gotta be a baby.
like his head has to be propped up by that pillow. And then now the 2.5-year-old wants to hold him all the time. That's not great because she's still little.
She don't know what she doing.
Right. So we gotta watch her holding him.
No, sometimes- I don't know. Sometimes I know she be trying to hurt the baby on accident, like grabbing his head or something.
He was watching TV. We like, I don't know what was big. It was something. It was like a cushion. And we'd sit on that, sit on TV.
And their neck could go like
Nah, he'd just be like,
So he was
like
okay?
this. Yeah, he was cool.
Okay.
But he used to be doing some wild ass shit. Like,
Right.
You'll leave him in there, come back, his feet up.
Yeah, they're like
that.
flap, flapping all over. So that's what we're worried about. Or the cushions, that's why they banned a lot of them. Or they put up a caveat, because if you put them in the next kinked, they can't get out of that and they suffocate. So that's another one. And why they say alone in the back in the crib. If they're face down, again, they can suffocate. So that's, or if there's a blanket and they somehow roll. So that's why, that's the big campaign.
Babies come with a lot, honey.
What's that?
They come with a lot, you just gotta just.
It's insane. Like, we're losing our minds. Like, our life has totally changed.
So do you ever think your baby crying when it's not crying?
Oh, like I wake up in the middle of the night and I'll check them, like, are they breathing? Are they?
Like my cousin, you like, you let a lot, she's like, oh, my baby crying, going to work.
Right. Yeah, you start hearing shit because you're so tired.
Cause
So-
you didn't
Nah,
heard
for
it so
real
much.
though, for real.
Yes. Yes. So bringing social welfare to the babies, why do we have such high infant mortality? How do we change that? What do we do to bring equity in the social welfare to maybe as a trace to a crib? And that's something so easy that we could give to people that don't afford it. And there's lots of extras that you could give. That's what we do social welfare. Here's the social change of consequence for infants. Well, now we have both parents working. How do you think that affects people? In the past, we could get away with one. Yeah, in the past, before inflation, one mom or one
Well,
dad.
I want to say they gotta find somebody they trust with their baby.
Mhm.
Cause daycares be doing foul stuff.
Right.
You know what's
Staff
crazy?
members can't always, take the
You know what's
baby.
crazy? The look.
The
You know what's
baby.
crazy? The look. The little stuff they be watching, unlike for the TV thing, unlike for the TV, they teach them stuff. Like,
Good or bad or both?
It's like good
Okay.
and bad.
But actually, I'm
It depends.
tired.
Cocoa melon's supposed to
Yeah.
be good.
I'm tired of hearing that. Cook.
I hate the song.
Supposedly, who said that is bad for the it's the addiction center in the brain because it's so fast moving that cocoa melon has been found to be bad in the research.
you know, like really, like they really be learning stuff. My little niece just turned 2, you know, every.
It's colors.
Oh
It's
you're
colors.
right. My 1.5-year-old is crazy with color.
It's listen, you know every name of the dinosaur.
Oh, really?
Yes,
And there's-
like,
I can say the
cute.
full name.
words, you don't even expect him to say like a
You're right.
Say
Okay.
the full name.
Right.
I don't even know half of the dinosaurs that he named. I don't know what you got going on.
Like you could show him and he's gonna tell you what it is. Or if
Okay.
you see it on TV, he's gonna tell you what it is.
So like good public broadcasting
You
systems.
know, cause they do got some good people on YouTube for the kids.
Yeah, I agree. This was another law passed for social welfare, like to have child cares everywhere. Used to offer free child care and good jobs. You're right.
Like I'm saying, like a daycare inside of the job.
We
so
don't
like
have it here anymore, but you're right.
in hospitals, they
Yeah.
have it, or like,
So University of Cincinnati has it.
so you could go check on your kid on your break.
You could. Now it's like a mile wide campus, but yeah, you could go walk a mile to the education department and check on your kid.
I think that'd be the
Oh,
only way I trust
I'm
people.
about to say that's nice.
It is, because we'd like to get it back here, but I know they say because we're so far out in the country, it might be a net money loss for
Oh, you said Central used to have?
San used to
What?
used to
A
have.
daycare here? Is that where that little
Yes.
playground out there? That
Yes.
little small,
Yes.
whatever that is thing, playground. I don't know what that is.
Yes.
So was it in Sands?
Is
Was
that
it in Sands?
yes?
So was it in Sands?
Is that where the education department is? I think so. Is that where the playground is?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're like, why the hell is there a playground?
Yeah, I just
like-
literally just said
Is
this.
it-
Just
they're
literally,
like-
I literally just said this.
Is it for somebody who ate too many edibles and they go like relive their 2-year-old days and
I'm like,
plans?
some have to go on. I
That's
heard
what
some
it
wild
was.
stuff about this campus.
So I guess this is how she's keeping her sanity. The kids made pillow mountain to sleep on. See, it's cocoa melon.
It's another not the name of it. It's something else.
The songs just drive me insane.
Right.
Oh,
It
God.
ain't got the TV so loud.
It is.
And
It
then
is
you
annoying.
walking around
after a
singing
while.
that stuff like, why is this stuck in my head? Now, I don't even know
The
this.
first thing that ever came out was Baby Shark.
Oh my God.
Oh, you're right.
They
I
play
forgot
Baby
about
Shark
that
out
one,
so
too. Okay.
bad.
We got remixing and everything.
So we'll try to finish on these two slides.
Is
But
he
like,
gonna be used in this book?
we are using it. Yeah, of course we are. I mean, that's where all of the information comes from. This is, yeah,
Alright, look, you explain this to me.
sure. What
So
questions
does
do you
it
have?
start off, it start off with
Your
the
great
mom, parents, and the dad, parents?
Or if it's easier, start off with you, because there's me right in the middle on 45.
You go off birthdays and how many siblings, right?
Right. Yes,
And
I have a
me-
brother on each side and I have a sister on each side. They all have two girls. What's
Cause
that?
man, I asked my daddy yesterday,
Like,
what
for real,
year was your
I got like-
sisters in them born? He told me, I don't know.
Like, I got like 2 sisters I never met.
So you do all that you know. I mean, you obviously, right.
I about to know one of them. I got an older sister now.
It's
What if
it's
they count, what
understood.
if you don't really count them as your?
Okay, wait.
You don't know if they
Well, it
actually
is
your-
personal to you.
Do you
I
gotta
mean,
be your siblings on your mom and dad's side?
Yeah, that's how it's at.
So I would have 45 cousins if I did that.
Oh, then.
If that's what you're asking, I would
So
for
we
real
can pick
have.
one.
Right, I mean, like whoever is closest to you, like, 'cause it really is
Yeah.
about you as the client.
Like,
So,
family
I gotta
matters.
do, I started my aunties too.
I mean, ideally, if you've had experiences with them, is they may have taught you stuff, but I've got four aunts and 4 uncles from my mom. I got 2 uncles and 4 aunts
See,
on my
look,
dad's.
my grandma on my pop's side, like,
Yeah,
Right.
something like that.
This was 8, 6, 12 is a lot. I mean, I
that's only on one side.
Right,
Well,
I understand.
My mom's side, my grandma,
and it may be as simple as you just put all them 12 circles and squares if you don't know if they're boys and girls.
I don't. I really don't.
So you can just put like 12, what's in between a circle and a square, a hexagon.
Cause when I was looking it up on Google, they had somewhere like it was somewhere.
It's very
Widow
detailed.
And
It's-
married and
Right.
separated.
When you get divorced, like I put X's because everyone on my mom's side except for her oldest brother got divorced.
Well,
So do we
nobody
got-
in my people got
So
married.
do we got
Yeah.
rights to
Oh
come
my
back?
God.
We
Only my
got
friends
rights to
got
come
married.
back.
Ideally, yes. So like when you guys work in your own private practice and you're talking to somebody about their upbringing and all they've known in their life is divorce or non-marriage or whatever, you know what I mean? Like
My
several.
grandma's still married,
Okay.
unfortunately. I don't know how, what happened with that, but,
But it tells you a lot about like your upbringing, you know what I mean? Like what I'm up
you know,
against.
she's
You're like,
still married to.
I got divorced 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
We gotta go into detail about like stuff about our family members' lives, like why can't I just put like who they is? Can I just put like who they is?
As
So I gotta put,
detailed
like,
as you can
and
get.
so what we putting, yeah, like.
If
when
you
I
knew
just
someone
put-
had mental illness or alcoholism or bipolar disorder, if you knew somebody had like a good thing in their life, like a college degree or, so there's so many factors, but it's just showing the
I
development.
run on my mama's side.
Because
Got
the only thing
mine
that-
alone.
The only thing that I put on my graph was that my mom's parents was married.
Okay,
And that like my mom's dad is not like, her biological dad is not her life, but my mom's mom has another man in her life that she calls her dad. That's the only thing that I put on my graph.
right. And like
So
I
gotta
said,
put
it's,
anything else like about my dad, but I put my dad on there, but I ain't trying to talk about that anymore.
so it is personal to you, and just let me know, when you work with a client, as much info as you get out of them. They may be at a point where they don't want to talk about shit. They're like, I'm not telling you. And that's okay, because counseling is voluntary. You're not gonna force them to talk about that.
Cause I
But
put my dad on there, it's gonna be a paper of kids.
understood. So, and then when they're ready, they do talk about it. So, and how does it affect your upbringing? How does it affect your idea of relationships? How does it affect your idea of life?
You got,
That's the point.
my daddy
I
got
don't
a
like
little
my
gang.
dad that much.
He's got some
No,
game.
we got a
He
mom.
got a couple of gang members.
Did he have any
We gotta start
kids
deciding.
simultaneously?
Okay, so I know two, okay, on my dad's side, I know he got 2 kids that are his, 'cause they look exactly like him. Now,
So
another
2
one,
women at the same time, babies born at the same time?
no, that, no.
That's what I'm asking. That's what I'm
Nah.
Okay.
Shoot.
Okay.
They club-
Babysit. What is that show called? Like where they have like 3 wives and 12 kids all at the same
So, okay, I can put it like this, I'm the oldest.
time? Okay.
And then I got a little sister, so she like the third oldest. And
Okay.
then my little brother.
Your sister number 1.
No, my brother would be second
Okay.
oldest.
Okay.
But on his side, my dad's side, she's the oldest
Okay.
between his girl and his boy.
I don't know, I mean, something.
If there is a history of abuse, if there is a history of alcoholism, if there is a
Nah,
history
yeah,
of
my dad.
drug addiction. Right. And it helps to know is that's genetic too. So like you can genetically, I have alcoholism on both sides of my family.
I
Did
got
I
it on my
drink?
dad's side. I got it on my dad's side.
Nah, I
Right,
said drug
right.
use is on my mom's side.
And that's good to know is
My
like
daddy
when I'm in
understands.
college, I might not even be 21, but I start drinking. I wonder why, like once I start, I don't stop. And I black out and like get alcohol.
But the
So,
real
yeah,
issue
job
is-
and okay.
Yeah,
If we
yeah.
do add that on there, how do you want us to add?
Cause
You
my
could
auntie,
be
she
a
have to
symbol
drink
for,
at least
like,
every day.
Alcoholism.
Just some type of thing?
Yeah, yeah. And then you do a key at the bottom. And that's what all the PowerPoints show or all the YouTube.
So
videos
we
show.
don't have to do it like your mom said, your dad said, 'cause I thought that's how it started, like.
Well, that's usually because it does take two to have a baby and then there's.
Right, but I thought it started off with the grandparent, like, okay, for instance, on my dad's side,
I
His
thought it
mama-
started with you first.
and that.
It should start
out
with
like
you, because
that.
that's all you know. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like as a kid, I only know me, then I realize I got a mom and a dad, then I realize I got grandparents.
Yeah.
So that's how the genogram started?
Yeah.
So that's how it started with you, but then go your parents.
That's what I do.
You ain't got kids, so you want to.
I know, and then, so it'll still go up?
And for guys, you can, yeah, I mean, that's how I started. I put me in the middle. I'm 45 this year, I was born in 78. I got two brothers.
So who's oldest?
Yeah.
Oldest, the youngest, okay.
Right. And then if I put my 45 cousins, that would be insane, but I didn't. I just put my 12 aunts and uncles and 4, and then my 2 grandparents in like 1910 and 19.
So going from your head, your brothers and sisters, right? Okay.
Right, I did
The
put their
at the bottom.
kids, because I see them often. They all have 2 girls, and then both my sisters have 1 boy.
Alright, so say they didn't have no kids, you want up, so you put your parents, right?
There's, yeah, like my mom and dad, and they're actually both the oldest boy. Like, so is there a history of abuse? Is there any sexual abuse? Were they divorced? What is the things that went on that cause psychological whatever in the family? And that's
So
the
what
point.
about, 'cause my mom's mother, she has, her mindset is in a child's mindset. So, but her sister also got, what's it called?
Like a low IQ, you're saying? Or
No,
more
no, no,
like-
no, 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 she diagnosed with something, I forgot. But she got the mind of a child, right?
So like her IQ might be 70 or more like, average
I
IQ is
explain,
a-
like, she remembers certain, like, she tap in and tap out. I wanna say, I don't know.
oh, your mom has dementia.
Not my mom, no.
Okay.
Her mom.
Your grandma has
Yeah,
dementia.
yeah.
Yeah, that is a diagnosable disorder that occurs and runs in my family. I might get it soon. I'll be like, I won't know what, I'll be wearing 2 different color shoes when I come in here.
But her sister has sickle cell.
Okay, and that's
Her
another
sister has
genetic
sickle
thing,
cell.
right, correct.
Yeah.
And so you want to,
My little sister got sickle cell. Does that mean, cause she got it, she on my dad's side, did that mean I got
that's where you would find out. They'll do a blood test. It's fine, you just need not marry, like, we got hemochromatosis in my family. It'll shut down your liver, so my brothers both have it. And they need to make sure not to genetic things. And again, as you ask enough questions, you start learning about your whole family, and it teaches us how to work with our clients and like things that could come up that could be challenging. Family, and it teaches us how to work with our clients and like things that could come up that could be challenging for us.
How do you do attendance for this stuff?
I have a sheet. You guys can pass one around, and then
I need to make sure.
and
Join
you
the
can.
video.
No, it's, you might as well. Like some people pull out the sheet. Like I write my damn name down. You know I was here. They give it to me. That's good.
See, you.
And then if you-
That's all that you.
Correct. Correct. It's a live class. I do film it. You can comment on YouTube. Anybody have a sheet of paper? I'm sure I've got some. It looks horrible.
Digging deep in this book, there's a lot going on in this day.
You ain't seen a lot going on until you open up this.
I got like some everything.
Napkins, forks, Cliff bars, iPods, iPads.
So do you got a survival dad?
Yes.
So you always there.
Yes.
I'd be like that.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of shit like that.
Yeah. It's
Like,
going
yeah,
down,
yeah,
man.
like-
For real.
I
Like,
asked you
It's going down. You like gotta have a warm coat in your car. You gotta have a warm hat. You gotta have
You gotta
enough.
have water.
So do
Yes.
you have that for your kids as
Yes.
well?
What's that?
Do you have it for your kids as well? Reason I asked.
Yeah. You want to be ready. Even the government's putting up billboards that says beprepared.com. You know some shit's coming when the government has. You ever had the power go off for more than 5 or 7 days?
Hell no.
It sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks. That happened in
In
2009.
Chicago, the power being out for 2 days is like a real problem.
That's what I'm saying. And if you don't have a way to get like gas, and then you have a winter supply of food.
You got a generator?
I have a solar one.
I was gonna say, I feel like it all depends on what area you in, so you can cut that back on that.
Gas and solar, or just like gas?
So
Okay. Because it's like a battery
Electric
bank,
one
and then
too.
you got the little panel you open like
I
that.
got the electric one too.
Because you can charge it while we have electric, and it stores all the power. So if the shit goes out, I have one upstairs and one downstairs.
Y'all know what I got? A candle.
What?
A candle.
A candle.
Candles are
Refrigerator go
big.
out,
We were
hopefully
just
I need to
saying.
be going downtown to get in the hotel.
If you light a candle and put a clay pot, you know,
No,
You guys
surprisingly,
ever-
anything downtown, they power come back on first before
So
they.
they have,
I was about to say, yeah, I feel like it all depends on what area you in, if your power coming back on.
Anything
true.
outside of downtown cities, any of that, oh, it's gonna take like a day or two.
It took us 7 days in 2009.
they got backup generators. Like hotels and shit, you have backup generators.
They scaring you yet? See, like-
Whatever I grab first is what I get.
Well, see, you want to be able to reach into your bag and be like,
I got some.
What the heck?
that's like for a tent. Actually, it's funny. I've probably found it outside when you're putting up. So like a tent, a 0-degree sleeping bag, a down coat, a hat. some
Y'all
gloves.
got
You prepared.
That's the idea.
I have an electric car though.
I do have an electric car, but our van
Yeah.
is gas and electric. It's a Nissan Leaf.
Oh, no, I never seen that.
It's
I was gonna
pretty
say,
cheap.
You got
They're-
Tesla.
No,
That's
everybody
electric car,
asked that first. That's why I say it's a Nissan Leaf.
I see him walking out the bed, I'm trying that shoe.
Yeah, plug it in my
Plug in,
car.
car, you know.
I do plug in my car.
So is your car like paid off or like you paid like?
I am paying $333 a month.
Look, so with the electric stuff, you gotta pay for that.
You mean here?
No, you can
Like to
still-
plug your car?
You're saying
It's
here?
like regular gas.
not here.
Well, here I worked it out before I got hired, and I said you need to have a plug for my car.
It's just- you
They
still
were
right.
paying that
So you
shit
got
for free.
free.
You have,
You pay for it too.
you pay for your own.
It is
stuff.
tax dollars that run Central State University. So as a state citizen of Ohio, I am paying.
But you get that for free though. And then you got,
Here?
you got one at your home.
At my home, it runs off solar power.
Wow, so your car really a phone.
I'm trying.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm trying.
That's how you know the world coming into some BS, cause last cars like.
You have
Those
the
folks
thing
be-
where
ooh, people be sleeping in their car and just be driving.
Yeah, that's scary. Like,
That's
I,
crazy. They just sleep and put in their cars in like cruise control and be chilling.
yes, I don't know how they put so much trust in the car.